Some few weeks I dropped a video about how people are buying properties in the UK without mortgage. People are coming together to raise funds and buy this property, improve the quality of the property, and then sell those properties. It is almost impossible for you to enter an African store that is run by, say for instance, the Pakistans, and you would not notice that it is owned by 2 or 3 brothers. 3 brothers have come together and they've opened African shop, and you, the African man, you are there to buy what you need to eat because you cannot collaborate with your own brothers to do anything significant. Does it make sense to you that someone will lose a child today, and he has a mother, he has uncles, he has brothers, and they will allow that woman to sleep alone in the house the next day? A lot is wrong with Africa, but that is not possible in our setting. Unfortunately, some Africans have assumed that these people don't talk about these things in their community, because when some of us come to social media, we don't look for such information. So algorithm know not to show us those information. So we just assume that those people don't talk. The idea that you will come into the diaspora, you will do the game of running shifts, 2 shifts, 3 shifts. Those days are over. Saying that everyone in your community and around you will swindle you, that means even you are a terrible person and no one should do business with you. Because they say, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Do things by the books. You register the company, everyone puts down their shares, and the shares that they have obviously dictates how much they will get when the profit comes. The conversation in our community should go beyond how we can get more shifts. Our conversation should go beyond having end of the year parties and when can we meet for Democracy Day that happens in our home countries. I'm not trying to create any group where people need to drop money or people need to do business together. I'm just giving us the idea that we need to go and do these things with the people that we know and we are comfortable with. Today's topic is about the need for us Africans in the diaspora coming together, collaborating, and some of the businesses that we can begin to do, to make better lives for ourselves and begin to make easy money legitimately in this our abroad living. If you are just joining this channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscribers, I really sincerely appreciate and love you guys. And if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, I beg for you to click the subscribe buttons and of course click the notification button so that you can know when next we are dropping a new video. Here we discuss the things that can improve the quality of family, money, business, immigration, travel, everything to improve the quality of family. And of course, family includes all of us. So you're welcome to this channel. Now, the concept of collaboration, I believe, is one thing that is lacking in our community as blacks living in the diaspora. Of course, it's something that happened from way back home. Now that we are in foreign land, we seem to lack the capacity to work together. And it's scary how much we want to become some of these countries that we live in. We want to live their individualism. We want to come to these countries and we want to begin to compete with the people that we are supposed to collaborate with. So you will have friends coming together and they are living in these foreign countries to collaborate with. This applies to every Africans in any country, but I'm going to be using the United Kingdom as a case study. You can have 2 brothers come into the UK. They might be from the same family, but instead of these 2 brothers to come together and begin to collaborate to do things together, everyone is then competing with each other. Someone is trying to buy a car on loan so that he can show the other person that is better. Someone is trying to rent a bigger house so that I can show the other person that is better than the other person or is living better. We just want to show that we are living better. Even unfortunately, we have to live paycheck to paycheck, winter to winter, to sustain some of these competitions that we do amongst ourselves. But if you look at other communities who are smart enough to collaborate, to come together, sometimes some of them live together, they do business together, just so that they are not in the trap set to them, set for them by the system. They are able to live better, they are able to earn better, and the quality of life that they enjoy in this diaspora living is somewhat better than what we enjoy as a community of the black in the diaspora. Now, I'm going to use this movie as a case study. I'm sure most of us have seen the movie Straw by Tyler Perry. Spoiler alert. Now, if you look at the movie, does it make sense to you that a woman will lose her child today and the landlord would ask her for a rent the next day? Does it make sense to you that someone will lose her child today and he has a mother, he has uncles, he has brothers, and they will allow that woman to sleep alone in the house the next day. A lot is wrong with Africa, but that is not possible in our setting. In fact, if that happens in an African community or society, we see it as an abomination that you will allow someone who has lost his child or his loved one, the only child, to go to bed alone, so much that the person will now wake up with so much hallucination and things happen. Of course, according to the story, I don't want to go into the details of the story because of some people yet to watch the movie here, but that triggers something in me that this is the problem that we have when we come to these countries that people live alone. We come to this country that people want to live alone. They don't want to be bothered, they say, and they don't want to bother anyone, and they want to do things on their own. They want to win on their own. They want to fight on their own. And when we come to these countries, we begin to learn that from them. We begin to learn that from them so much that it affects us even in our homes and our finances. Now, if anything has worked for Africans, it is the community. The chance that you can be sure that people can come together to help, people can come together to collaborate, people can come together to do something for themselves. And even when there is lack, there is uncertainty around, the fact that you have people to collaborate with or to share your burden with helps you a lot. Now, let's bring that to money. Some few weeks I dropped a video about how people are buying properties in the UK without mortgage. And one thing that is very evident in that video is that people are coming together to raise funds and buy this property, improve the quality of the property, and then sell those properties for profit. Now, this is not something that is new. If you go into some of the popular ethnic group in the United Kingdom, you will hear this a lot amongst them. Unfortunately, some Africans have assumed that these people don't talk about these things in their community because, of course, when some of us come to social media, we don't look for such information. So algorithm know not to show us those information. So we just assume that those people don't talk because we have never seen it. So we assume that they don't talk. But that is not the case today. If you are careful enough and you are deliberate to search, you will discover that for Indians who own the largest, in the UK when it comes to household property ownership, that is the model that they've been able to use as a community to come together to buy for themselves property and own it for themselves, and they are beginning to live a better life. When you go into the business also, it is almost impossible for you to enter an African store that is run by, say for instance, the Pakistans, and you would not notice that it is owned by 2 or 3 brothers. It is usually not one person owning the business. You will discover that the person cutting the meat for you, and the person that is collecting money, and the person in charge of cleaning something, they look alike. And when you begin to inquiry, you will discover that they are all siblings. 3 brothers have come together and they've opened African shop, and you, the African man, you are there to buy what you need to eat because you cannot collaborate with your own brothers to do anything significant. You can go to a store where they are selling mobile phones or phone accessories, and you will see 2 brothers and you will discover that they look like each other, knowing that these people are siblings, sometimes friends, who have come together to do this business together because they know, like Yoruba people will say, "Iṣẹ́ lala ṣe jẹ, òwò lala ṣe là." I will try this translation. They say you work to eat, you do business to prosper. And that is very evident in this abroad living. Like the very saying in that old TV show, the Bill Cosby show, it said the government comes for the regular people first because we want to say regular. And what does regular people do? Regular people believe that they can win the system alone. They believe that, they can hustle, they can pack more shift, they can do this, they can do that alone by themselves and win the system, thereby playing the game individually, but they are losing. But the smart ones know that they don't have enough to succeed in the system, so they will come together, collaborating and putting together their strengths, their expertise, and then they would win. Now, going back to the property discussion that I had, I made a very elaborate video with the CEO of TMS Property, and he was saying that, it's helped people to come together to buy property. Say, for instance, the property is £100,000 in terms of buying it and renovating it. But if you look at it, how many Nigerians or African in diaspora have £100,000 in their savings? But he mentioned that 2 or 3 people come together to do these things with a special purpose vehicle, and they will do that together, then share the profit together. And like I said, this is the exact thing you will find in other communities that people are doing together and they are winning together. The idea that you will come into the diaspora and you will do the game of running shifts, 2 shifts, 3 shifts, those days are over. You are just going to walk into the system and the system will use you, because you are doing exactly what the system has scripted for you to do, and you are going to waste the best years of your life trying to do and win life alone. Unfortunately, you are really not going to even win alone, but when you can come together, you stand a chance to win. And I understand that people have the fear of, oh, they are going to swindle me. But I must add, I don't know where some people develop this idea that when you do a business with a black man, they are going to swindle you. It is something that has been preached to us so much, and we begin to believe it ourselves. The question I ask people is that, you're saying that everyone in your community and around you will swindle you? That means even you are a terrible person and no one should do business with you. Because they say, show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. If everyone around you are structured and looking out to swindle you, that means something is wrong with you yourself. And they need to swindle you first before you swindle them. Because it doesn't make sense that you will think that everyone around you is out to swindle you. If that is the case, you either need to change, or you need to change your community. You need to change your friends, because you are not a tree. You can change. Personally, I don't even believe in that school of thought that Africans are going to swindle you. Don't get me wrong. I know that there are people with terrible attitude when it comes to money amongst our community, but you will find them in every community on the surface of the earth. So it's not peculiar to the African person alone. You just need to do your due diligence. And when you live in some of these developed countries, you will discover that you can do things by the books. You register the company, everyone puts down their shares, and the shares that they have obviously dictates how much they will get when the profit comes. And when the profit comes in, they are going to share based on that contribution that they have made in the initial deposit that we all contributed. See, it's a misinformation to ensure that people don't come together and win together. For you to think that for you to come together with your brothers, with your sisters, with your siblings, they will swindle you. And you don't have to do these things with strangers, really. You have friends, you have community members, you have people from your tribes, you have people from your town, that you can come together and say, oh, brothers and sisters, can we begin to do this together? Can we begin to do that together? Let me give you some businesses I know that people are coming together and they are doing in the United Kingdom especially, and they are making good money. Number one is what I mentioned, is the property business, that people can come together and raise money to do property. They develop it, they flip it in the BRR arrangement. People do rent to rent. People do a lot of things when it comes to collaboration in the area of property. If you are interested, you can make some research into that. Another business is barbing and beauty shops. I hope you know that most of the barbing salons that you see are not particularly owned by one person. Sometimes it's a group of friends coming together to say, oh, we have these skills. I don't have the money to start my own barbing shop. Can we come together and open this shop together so that we can share the liability of the business? And then when we begin to make profits, we can then begin to share the profits. In care, there's so much you even can do if you have the qualification and the expertise to do it. Some of the ambulances you see in the United Kingdom are not necessarily owned by government. They are owned by individuals. And they can be capital intensive when it comes to starting the business of ambulance. That means people with qualification, with expertise, and their visa allows them to do that, can come together and invest in that ambulance business and begin to do it together. The list goes on and on. People open shops together, African shops. People can open restaurants together. The list goes on and on. It just depends on how much investigation you can do. The bottom line of this conversation is that we need to begin to discuss in our community, what can we do to go forward. The conversation in our community should go beyond how we can get more shifts, should go beyond how we can pack more shifts or do night and day at the same time. Our conversation should go beyond having end of the year parties and when can we meet for Democracy Day that happens in our home countries. that conversation in those WhatsApp group must move to the conversation of, oh, how can we begin to do business together? What can we begin to sell together? What can we begin to buy together? Where can we begin to put our investment together, so that together we can make money, and then together we can share the profit? And this is the best part of this arrangement. This will improve the quality of life for you and I. I'll give you an instance. I remember meeting a guy who said that himself and his wife were working in the warehouse. His wife used to be a cleaner in the warehouse, but when things became, funny during, I believe, COVID, they gave the wife the option to resign or to move into the warehouse so that he can be carrying things. So the wife had to comply and do that. But he said that this warehouse job was killing his family because the wife is tired, he's tired. They don't really have time for themselves and their children. And what they was to find people come together and they start their own business. Now the wife started the business, not the husband. Of course, the husband stayed with the job, but the wife moved on to run the business with someone. He said that move saved his marriage. Why? The wife now has more time for the family, the wife is less stressed, and the children can see their mother. Yes, the man is somewhat still busy and a little bit stressed in what he's doing, but he said now he can focus better and he doesn't have to struggle too much because the wife is now building the business for the family. And at the right time, he would be able to leave his warehouse job and join his wife in that business so that they can live a better life for themselves. That's what you gain. My call really is that we come together as a people and begin to find and discuss ways that we can begin to do business together. So please, can we begin to make suggestions as to what people can come together to do? Now, let me put a disclaimer here. I'm not putting any group in the comment section for anyone to join. So in case someone is putting a group out there for people to join, please be sure that is not coming from me. My call is that we have these ideas that people can begin to do with the people they know and they are comfortable with. I mean, your friends, your siblings, your community members, people that you know. I'm sure every one of us can raise 5, 6, 7 people around ourselves. And of course, if you are comfortable with someone that you meet online to do business with them, just make sure that you do your due diligence before you drop your money to strangers. I'm not trying to create any group where people need to drop money or people need to do business together. I'm just giving us the idea that we need to go and do these things with the people that we know and we are comfortable with. Now, that being said, let's begin to drop the idea in the comment section and say, oh, I know about this, I know about that. People can begin to study this, people can begin to do that. Let's put the idea in the comment section, and as many that are interested to learn these things, or as many that are really interested in a life beyond the regular stressful shift, can begin to look into these things and say, okay, my visa condition allows me to do this, then I'm going to move into it. And like I said, especially when you are married, if the husband is restricted, usually the wife is not. If the wife is, usually the husband is not. The person that is not restricted can begin to join other people and create some side hustles for themselves. Now, it might be very difficult and scary alone, but I promise you, when you come together with a group of people, you are going to be sharing responsibility. So the stress, the burden will not be on you alone. Of course, you are going to win together, so you might not have people to show that you are better than them. All of you will then become better. So if you are interested in the fact that you want everyone around you to be better while you also grow significantly, this is a call for you to begin to make these conversations in your circle. Begin to call your friends. Begin to put this conversation in your WhatsApp groups and say, what can we do together? Who can we start something together? And I promise you, it's going to be a world of difference in our relocation or abroad journey. Thank you so much for joining today. It's been an amazing time with you as per usual. Please subscribe if you are yet to do so, and put some good suggestions in the comment section so that people can learn from your own experience and your wealth of knowledge. It's been nice hanging out with you. Bye.